in the 21st. He was born to a nomadic family in the highlands of the Tibetan Plateau, identified as the reincarnation of the 16th Karmapa at the age of 7. He then fled to India at 14, seeking the religious freedom that he needed to perform his spiritual activities. His Holiness has, in his as yet brief time in religious leadership, made such important contributions not only to Buddhist thinking, but to global thinking on the environment, spirituality, and the arts. The importance made the historic announcement in January of this year that he will reestablish the practice of full ordination for women within Tibetan Buddhism. His Holiness is also passionate about engaging university students on the issues I've just mentioned and more, including food justice, rampant consumerism, and the principle of interdependence in an era of technological connectivity and emotional disconnection. During his several days at Princeton, he is participating with students in a spiritual open mic night at the Murray Dodge Cafe, meeting with student activists, with student staff and faculty in the Gender Studies program, and in the Princeton Environmental Initiative. He is also attending a class in the Lewis Center for the Performing Arts and another on environmental science. This afternoon, His Holiness will speak for a time, and then his translator, Yeshe Gyamtso, will pose questions that have already been collected from the audience. This is only the third visit to the United States of His Holiness, and we are so honored to have him here at Princeton. Let us give our warmest welcome to His Holiness, the 17th Karmapa.
At the Princeton University, the
First of all, I want to thank Princeton University for giving me this excellent opportunity to visit and experience this great place of learning.
Yedon, Yelolea Toma, and America Library du Sanda, America Yomba, Tin Hamorella, and Yahagi, Chilo, the Yellow draw Tin Hamuchayade, and Cub de Dusane, the Dunja. 진지 규주마도 중요하만해. 다이미네 양결 가져야지. 계급 안들이야 로야기 되버시라 총래 세상 맞저기 에는 베즈 망부 셰브레 되이네야. 제반은 시지기 좀제 개태요 말다 이미네요. 안에 다다봐도 안더팀 숨 마도다 대 용토요 말았어.
I first visited this country in the year 2008, which was also the first time I left India since settling there. And I was only able to be in this country for 2 weeks on that first visit. The first visit gave me a very strong desire to come back, which I tried to do. It was initially unsuccessful. So this is only my third visit to the United States of America.
안다리 디 요아다 암비세르 제제 안 라브시몬트 줄리아도 드라르시 오마네지 아리기 루투다 토레시아 고급데다 야라 티마무르 춤브레 드레인 주사네 아리 라브시몬트 줄 신신 뭐서 소소기 루투게다 초와 간디지 메데 냠스 용아기 고급 용아지다 다나신기 소소기 ane 가르 고도 야체르 당하르 드리직 체르다 라브르시몬을 야드라게 레림지 쇠제 또 담보 라브르시몬 레니레지 마도야 말해 대야 마체 다지 나랑 럽종 칭게지 임베 남바체진 드라 마더베 녜마 렉처르시야다 다나신 진 가르다 돌린시아르 드리기 제림 개요 말해. 다 이면에 딘 제림데 엔 걸걸지 야샤로 치지다 가르 아주 디 야샤로 치지다 간다. 다들이 샤샤.
My particular reason for this visit to the United States is a desire that I have had for some time to see the great universities of this country. And this desire was born in me from my encounters with American university students in India, which gave me a strong wish to at least gain a glimpse of their experience studying in the great universities of this country. And hopefully, by gaining that glimpse, to be able to widen my own outlook. So my intention really was to come here as a student, not as a lecturer. But the plans kind of increased beyond that.
And the university tools in Drada, lecture in it, decision. Laboratory lecture share to Chesha. Kadrin Duzada, Kadrin Rangishan Gozumindo.
Because I'm visiting 6 great universities, I have now been called upon to give 6 lectures, 1 at each, which I don't know what to say about that.
아주 내 망부지에 랍제 나노리 년자진 랍제 디나노리아 예베 슈체 루주 망부지 안 상월로리아지 가슈레지 enthusiasm 서버 조아르지 예지 수수기 마음베 미지 나노리아 지 자활랍신 주야선한 단도 다나 신기 지적 체도修上不是周推啊，上面周啊当，当然新的人民全部也得嘛，忙不要嘞，研究啥呢？是当然设备，就露出开些头些，给是全部来加上或者有一个，拉萨当，或者有一个的中南地个哪里啊，新规台不是那个。Similar Chona Gembo Shiraji.
The students of this university that I have met exhibit tremendous enthusiasm, tremendous commitment to learning. They have tremendous aspirations, and I feel very confident that they will do great things, and they will serve this world of ours. This morning I met with several students, and seeing their energy, their courage, their passion, their benevolent concern for the future of this world was inspiring to me.
This world somewhere, the conflict somewhere, no day can't yard, tang your main be, can't you ever understand? Mazugi, artificial knowledge is because university, loves me and all the Jans have energy, catch a day, San Andrando, artificial knowledge, Jibugi, and so say, Maube Mizina, so somebody Shinjiki, Chawalajan to Agilia, Tijibugi, Lake San Andrando, Tijibugi, Chowachi, Kalahouse Chadi, Demo Mangasolia, Dendengi, Semlia, Kashwe, Seba, Sogom Gunibuare, Shiro Gunibuare, Kuyang Sambaguare, Dana Shingi, Ninjigi, Kashwe, Ninjig Zilla, which I can Tambu, Tambu to school.
However, given that this world is so filled with conflict, external knowledge, the knowledge that we gain through study, which is by necessity is directed somewhat outwardly, the world around us, rather than at ourselves, may not be enough to enable us to accomplish the great things to which we all aspire. In addition to that knowledge, we need patience. We need relaxation of mind. We need openness. And we need a compassion that motivates everything we do.
Penangan Chasha Yimna. Ani Tambakesa did this Chikashre Lumbakuyo, Tana Shingi, Mizain, and Jorbachunjur of Tilia, Kebre. Education, the education, Labden and draw, the Lichesaro, education, Kokation, Amara. That in it, Lord Dunia, Lebecolia, Churjida, Tana Shingi, Rewat, Zanime Jigi, Tone, Takandakama Bimzi Chebre. In a Galatsubi, in a Kamabumzi Chevatigi, the Minji Tobasamre, Mother, Teleshe, the Kambi Kashom, the Gangalo, Susu, Shini, Chikashum, Gangake, Bezuka, Chegwach, Nizuji Matobe, and a Teladen, the Kashuji, the Mima, which is something on Kamabucha, Chawazam Shigi, Pajita. Samalo, Nadian Samalo, touch us in the Ruchi. Did it something God? Did it jail? The Indusane, Lochun Juni, and the Gangyamang Wuji, Yambre, Mizina Lolia, Jundo, challenge Manguchumbre.
If I may use myself as an example, I was born in an isolated place, in an undeveloped region. And there being no schools, I had no opportunity initially for any kind of formal education. But then when I was 7 years of age, without any preparation or warning, certainly without any wish on my part, I was recognized as the Karmapa. For me, it was just being given a name, but also being handed a burden, a source of trouble and endless challenges. It wasn't, as some people think, the instant resolution of all problems for me. It was a source of challenges. So from childhood, I've faced many, many challenges.
So that some normal people this week are ngegi kangyar of the country me nyamsu nyongju shane ngene imagination chadle kangyar of jondi karshwe daji ada dring Hindustan ti gyunze da US cheza da nije to ne che Hindustan da dring di ane 초진 딘디지기 강에 망부지 균이 총비 인두산에 에너지 아주 지가수에 참섬지 spiritual religious leaders to be 고지 기보지 소화 기부를 지당 luxury 지 딘디지 나로리아야 살론 총대바 로지 딘디 많이 봐 다녀디 간다 지 신다지 나는 살론 총부래 거두지 나로 사랑 충분해. 진짜지 거두 나로 사랑 충분될 댄세. 아니 미신다가 강에 이내야. 다 가수래지 강에 털에 삼도 동안 들래 디스 수수지 가수래 삼도 동안 망가듯이 소소를 강에 충분히 인자. 아니 미신다기 강에 털에 비는 삼도 동안 그 가수지 마르심으로지당 다나신 딜이야 이 심구르 천왕 처리조여지 대인주산에 다 드린 게 시야 죄제배나 gender issues 아르당 다 디지털이 미네야 된den게 수수익 미진앙기 천왕의 제외 토안에 엔델이야 수수익에 가수에 심구르 좀 보여도
It may be difficult for normal people to imagine the challenges that someone like me has to face, but let me assure you there are challenges. I suppose some people imagine that being a spiritual leader, one leads a life of comfort, luxury, and ease. Let me assure you that is not the case. It's filled with challenges and difficulties of all kinds. But the difficulties that I've had to face have increased my empathy, because by experiencing so many challenges, it's enabled me to develop more and more concern for the difficulties that other beings, other people face. And so it's for that reason, really, that I have become so sensitive to and concerned with issues such as the gender issues and the other issues that you've asked me to address today.
Gender issue to share with me, and Tagi Modena Becablia, Jison, Carcer de Pelia, Carcer Pumelia, and the full ordination, Cha Tiqualia, G. Carre, Moder Nabecablia, Jison. Chitangita, Carre, Peggy Pumelia, the full ordination with the Giadi, and Peggy Pumet Pumetsolia, G. Carre, Churchogi, Takashi, Dombachi woman, that Tigi Pumegi. Energy chucho narole and pumegi karshweji top down and nubadang dana sing leadership that the niji chungare tigi dana singi and jizo narolea tigi takandra shugen chenbu jig karshwe yunguyebde and chunguyebre today we use then and the consider with some che energy carre titolia mise tour shebre antana ji phegi ta keba mangbuchi gi long ni ju sum ju rin lia du ju mangbu stang je titolia energy carre solution sujib ja somar be da ji 딜리지 베주 균진 쳔브레 아드리 인두산에 녜기 드더디 디톨이야 데스 가슈레지 쉽슈 두비아 대양 어느 코난수 인스파이어 somewhere 코난수 차례 나부텔 댄세 나랑리아 지심 가슈레 구멘테브 제다 다나신기 코난수 기다지 tilek chashen ro chik de jim betilya rang do mujin do shu yes
In Dean Bowden's introduction today, she mentioned that I am involved with the reestablishment of full monastic ordination for women in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition. In fact, the issue of the reestablishment of full ordination for women in this tradition is not simply an issue of dharma, of religion or spirituality, nor is it only an issue of the reestablishment of the giving of vows of a certain type. It goes to the very heart of the need to protect and promote the rights of women. There for many years demonstrated a particular concern that we find a good resolution to this issue, and assisted by many scholars, has searched for a solution. My service in this regard has been to inspire I hope people to support this and to facilitate in whatever way I can the activity of the reestablishment of this full ordination.
Women's empower sidustane ane tana shobe ngazu kiz chongbare bene chi number zam ktawane da ji women's empower sadi shetwe khawados ben tadar jinga shewina full ordination ye me ktawane energy pumelia karshwe ji Pumele empowering Yumedi, full ordination Yumedavang, Yana Peranga Zuji, Jizona Lolia Benergy, Pumegita, the workshop look to Chotu Gaza, workshop law look Chominda, Dana Singi, and Pumegi, president somewhere, that the Lang Chomila, so that they call as an Shigare. Inati, T. Yeva some Shigi. Pumeliaji, the full summer top down Chazan, top down Sanandra, that empowering summer way. That the Chazan topic was gave me a such. The Hindustan Azuki measurements of the 10 Ziadi, and the chi numbers of Nambegam, or that the legend do min do. The Rizigi, Pumel, top down Shavina, energy. Empowering Yavadan, the Digimavina empowering Mavadus, the Digit Ziade, and Tachido, G. Kashu said the Devajimi, and Tizum Chadion.
Many people speak about the empowerment of women, and as several of us discussed in a dialogue we had this morning, it's important to remember that the restoration of women's rights and the full empowerment of women must go far beyond mere external appearances and institutionalized mechanisms or structures. Such necessary steps as restoring the full full monastic ordination for women in my own tradition. Famous historical steps such as women's suffrage, even the election of a woman as president. These steps are in themselves not enough to really restore women's rights, to really empower women. And we cannot assess the degree to which women are empowered in our society, the degree to which they possess the rights that are their rights, by such externals alone.
Understanding some of the Pinsu Jigilia, Tuan Tambadang, Ning Taba, German may be Zikatreji, Pinsu Jigilia, Zawadang, Kukurchadang, Tana Singi, the Laxam Sweme summary. The Digiquadi, the Ketchum Chadi are. Shemadabe, Lumba Mambuchinanola, Gigo Mambuchinanolia. She put me a git top down, empowering sad. So, Mache, Timlugi, Tone, G. Kajre, Sungubche, there was some shigda. Yana G. Public, somewhere, Manzogi, Musung, somewhere, that G. Tinde Tone, G. Kajre, Ning Tabone, Telia, G. Kajre, Semsor Mevche. 이미냐 따지 넘주르 잠시다 다나 신들이적 토네 제리아시 근데 이미 인상 아저기 예금 가시지 나러려야 파대비 이미냐 남발래야 따지 가수에 톱단도 차상 예비네야 단동 안 보면에 태심 강에 무균 태대야지다 아니지 용심의 동에데 무균이 용대야지 또 용구여때 가르선 조던 아주지 지기질이야 된 담밤 인타번에 변주지기들이야 그거로다 자와 사무지 주모도 발 때는 용면으로 섬들 정도
We need a mutual understanding, and this understanding has to be real. It can't be fake or contrived. It has to be loving, it has to be respectful, and it has to be founded in basic human benevolence and caring for one another. Many countries have used legislation to protect the rights of women or social pressure to promote them. And if you look at such societies briefly, it might seem that there is gender equality in them. But if you look very, very closely, there is still not gender equality. In spite of legislation, in spite of social pressure and political correctness, women still suffer inequality. So I think the solution to this is that we go beyond mere legislation and social pressure and try to really develop a love, really develop understanding, and real, authentic concern for one another.
My God. Hindustane. Activists somewhere taji lengu pea mangbochil ta karshwe teni ta teletene ngazuji karshwe lengu pea activist somewhere lengu somewhere how to translate that into English
Activists.
Tibetan
Mishi. Activists.
You don't know?
Mishi.
My goodness. Oh.
La Len Tangken.
La Len Tangken. I remember some Shasake. Okay. Oh, okay. That delay, 테라데네 아는 가수지 가수래지 라렌 땅게 서머베 베나 다기 건도 주변에 시래 아주 별이야 게럼 오르네션 지하고리야 계제 로니슈 수시야버서 동아 야갈 마용 코네 계제디 고주사임다 드레인두스탄 로니슈 수시 계시야브레 딸디 오늘은 계시시야브디 라렌 다니는지 참참 계시지시에 디제지시에는 계제 두기면지 자연고래 드레인두스탄에 다들 무슨 라렌 단계지고 하되 쉽지 개체 계제 컨디션은 타마들이야 무슨 좀 돼야지 이내 무슨 드레인 대체하려면 아주 액티비스트 서머를 라렌 단위 지든지 고가래
About activism, to use this restoration of the full monastic ordination for women as an example, talk of restoring it began among Tibetans in the exiled community probably 20 or even 30 years ago, certainly before I reached India. And that talk has continued throughout these 20 or 30 years. One person after another has had things to say about it. But in spite of all of this conversation, we have not so far put it into practice. We have not applied it. And I think that in this regard, activism would consist of actually doing it, actually restoring it, instead of just talking about restoring it.
Activism sadly, yes, a number of some tango. Chitan Chevinang as a song living in sort of interdependent world, the name is and it's logic activist chadiach. Some jigilia, Shugan Tigi Su Karachevina, Kasa Sujigi. Chawa khandi chevina ti chigilia shugen tegiyebji the industana ta ti thone ta activist lavna mandibs kemyebs ina activist ngomati tindiji shugen tebaza maimba ta khansa jigi chedong ane khandar chedong ane consciously samarweda chedong ane chawajilia shubaji 고가래 미유지 샤치 인텔리아 미유든 주야가 체도 안에 차와지리아 슈버지도 고가래
I suppose there are two types of activists. Given that we all live in this interdependent world and that therefore our every action affects everyone and everything else, we are all automatically activists, whether we know it or not. But there is a second type of activist, which is what I would call a true activist, and that is someone who is not simply an automatic activist, but an intentional activist. That is someone with a vision who seeks to achieve a specific goal or end.
아주 진짜 activism 니가 삼동과데 개좀 쉽지 않아요. 배는 아주 지조 나는래 배는 gender issue를 지면 지조 난가 따당. 지조 난게 미기 따당다. 지조 난게 미 삼동당이야. 지 가수의 라시불 위에래. 드리 디균즈데는 아주 미리기 삼동당다. 안다는 신기 구조 개당 토네. Energy pena gender issue neare environmental issue neare 상로리아 아니 가르르 디기 슈겐 테게 여비제당 딜랑 아주 상로는 겐 여비지 아주 셰과디 시비지 개좀 차데 여러 something도 다디 다디
I think we need to be both kinds of activists, the automatic activist and the intentional activist. To apply this to the issues of gender, we need to pay attention to changing society. We need to pay attention to the views of our society at large and the behavior and customs of our society at large. But we also need to take responsibility for our own views and behavior as individuals. This is also true in our stewardship of the environment. We need to take on, or at least share in, our own individual responsibility as a member of the aggregate that makes up our society in stewardship of the environment as in other issues as well.
United Hindustan, the Mikashilia, that the Hindustan, Sosulia, Tindegi, Nuzu Chawala Shuni, Gain Kuriagi, Samba Yuena Menea, Tendam, Mazuchigile, Javachi of Hindustan, Jigilia, Shugan Tegayavati, Mazushia Chawati, Kachushu Chadi. That is social and gain, Yaya, Maya, that one Javati on the yard. That didn't never the Karasana, Nazun gain Kurne. Mazu Kulonji Kurne, Miyuji Sune, Lagachati, that exhibits Mamarudi, the Chagare. That dig exhibits the Yakug Ketchudi, Kulon the Ketchuchi. So Suegi, Miyu the Kulon the Savaji Yokajidan, Energy Kashre number Tower of Yokoati.
Although some people may not intentionally or actively undertake responsibility, we all, whether we believe it or not, share in our common responsibility for preservation of the environment, for issues of social justice, and so on. The other type of activist, the true or intentional activist, is someone who consciously undertakes responsibility, who takes upon themselves a greater responsibility than they would otherwise have by necessity. And in such cases, when we become intentional or true activists, the most important thing is our motivation, our true aim. It's important that our goal or aim be very clear and that our motivation be very pure.
Yeah, social activist Mambo Tonyo, Manche the days Chicago. Very angry, somebody. Manche the angry things yard. Karasana angry chadi, because me you just soon, because the Kange Mambo skip. Ina Gua can tongue, Jizon and Gua, to Marathon to Sun, tea semitic, that to me and drive, some emotional charge in Midusana, social actives, Mambuji, that Mambujilia, that assembly ganges, that she Kozulia, and it caused Tambug, Miyugi, Gulon, Zangmadi, Kaligali, Jizoki, G. Nizulia, Denche. The energy, not one to charge. And that social energy can get charged. The Legionadi or Casre Rodanopsi.
I've met many social justice activists, and the majority of them are angry. I think the reason that we become angry often as activists is frustration. We set ourselves a goal, a change we wish to effect, and when we don't observe a change, when we don't observe success in what we seek to do, it begins to affect us emotionally, at which point our goal has been, in a way, muddied by our frustration.
The aspirations of social justice, the aspiration down, because me the lonely individual. That the one that Nedi, Gajre, Deliaji, remendi shukshimbu juajilia community 다들 도슈고아디 그게 좀 자리하래. 제가 랑다 지 면람 튠버서난 장도 랑다 aspiration 지구인데 봐. 대소도 냠제 제제. 들리지가 토하네. 간다는 거 저기 에네 수수 aspiration 디 lonely 더지당 안다나신 디지 뇽중 더지 뉴면 더지 마찬가지지. 다디 뉴버디 컨트롤 동안이야. 맞아요. 다 간다 community 도슈고아지. 만족도 도슈고아디 개점지 자디요. 수수 면람디 가사 신기 면람단 잡았어요지. 근데 토네 가르쳐야지. come together. 로시고아디 개점이스.
Our aspiration for social justice can never be a lonely one. It must be one that is cultivated in community. Great aspirations require community. They require the fellowship, the company, the support of other people who share the same goals and have the same concerns and motivations. By embracing community and fellowship in our aspirations, we will no longer feel ineffective or powerless. Being connected with others, coming together with others in this way seems to be important or even essential for the protection and growth of our aspirations.
Penang under chasam the spiritual leadership needs to kashe nye chendu me maradi ne ngaraji shenyen roji rawa jamnyen roji kuma chinyen roji goare namju ngazuji sia juare pena ji sangi ge ma chue xie du san sangi chue xie ma xie ba da chue xian de me ba maradi ne da ji mi ji gi 지 취지 싫어지 지 꾸며 쉬고 하지 다 되게 되게죠 되는 시제죠 간다라 드린 주산에 나를 이미네 미망부치기 베네 젠더 이슈에네 다나 신기 디나로네 베네지 gelom이 이슈로 디수 토리미네 미제기 말에 꾸며 신이야다 다나 신가래 아다지 가르에 디스 센디브 신이야라부터 가시 중소 될 때인지 아니 수수관에 지금 재고 운동화 성성으로 지다 되는 지금 수수기 가수라다 가르쳐야 이거지 하고지 지 유진도 성성으로 지금 되는 니바 통모를 되는 인도산에 대균산대네 아주 미신달이야 된데 미망부질이야 전대 매바다 야나 제 미시브 마르디네 디줄이야 꾸마다 디줄이야 안에 가슈에 덴덴기 센티비체니지 고이스라
For example, in my case, as a spiritual leader, there are some things, some responsibilities that I have to be encouraged, even exhorted to undertake. It's not that I don't wish to share these burdens, but it won't happen until someone asks. Traditionally, we say that the Buddha, after his awakening, did not teach until someone asked him to. It wasn't that he didn't want to teach, it's just someone has to ask. In the same way, my interest in gender issues, in the particular issue of the reestablishment of the bhikshuni, or full monastic ordination for women. And these things have been brought about through the encouragement, even exhortation, of several people. When people demonstrate a concern for a certain issue, I naturally think, I must do something about this. I must get involved. And their encouragement literally gives me the courage to do it. Well, in that way, we all need the encouragement and support of others who share our vision.
Tene Yusana Chizo Nagi Pena Mina Keshenda, Chizo Guti di Solia, Natsuki Rawatanguati, Ketchmishtachi. Natsu Rawach Tembi, Rawach Tembi Mina, and Rawatanguati, Ketchmishi, but Yana Sonar of two songs.
Chizo ne?
Chizo Guti,
Good
leadership, Azulia, Azulia, Rawatanguati, Kuzulia.
And I think that in the same way, we need to encourage and even exhort or appeal to leaders of societies in order to cause them to act as well.
I think time for question.
So now we're going to move to the questions that have been chosen or submitted, which I dropped on the floor. I'll read the question in English, then translate it to His Holiness. If necessary, he actually speaks English. He just pretends not to, so I have something to do. The first question is, there seem to be lots of different motivations for activism. Activism motivated by anger, by guilt, or by compassion, for example. I think activism motivated by compassion is ideal, but I've noticed it is often much quieter, more private, and sometimes does not have as big a reach. Activists motivated by guilt or anger seem to work very publicly for change. What do you think about affecting structural change through these different kinds of activism? The activism.
Activists le kulon ta keshmishim chadya ju khashe jik dik jik karwe ta anger of che de ya guilty that and da na mangbo chi ta ge shevna shi de joati na mangbo she de nga chu gi de mi yu de di karwe mi yu drya de mi yu de da drugu ya mi yu de drubr chevlia and the Karshpradaji, me the Drukumevina, Susugi and a Jichadi, Sambu imbachitang, and a Yapochi imbachi, Tichibugi, Nageg the Kuchishimina, and a Tendar Druya de Kalahaushim Chadi or something. The Nidus and Kechishudi, and Mazugi, and Chawad and Druyalia, Pendoha, Chijun Tan, Benedis Kashre, Shiwa Tang, private Guyananda, I'm days G. Kashre, this Subundovajana, public more sort of demonstration of the Guyananda. That is Nedana Tani, Chiarchimato, Nedi, Yodukia, the Kalahostando. Yimbineam, Samsung was a Nizu Kartungo Sana. Then Benedict. Samsung Nucho da Sharcho Begi, Barulia, Gange Tedior, Nucho Bakashegi, and the Sharcho Benanjikarwe, gender issue of the Nico Geshed Usana, and Nazu Yahweh, Chizu Tujare Shasar, Ligi, Kandar Kuzuki, Yanachi, Saja Dilia, Benesaja Kakimojili, Kanazu Yabuchim into Sarvishi and Dusane. That they Samsung create more conflict. That they on their gene water. And they do some deacons and then and Samsung as activists this more sort of soft, more space. Music they catch them chatting on it. Tandona, Under Kashweji Miyu Drubialia Kachim Chamadobe so emotional summer Susugi Semsortiki Shivjigi Kashwe Sim Tsona Gimbal Cheji Semsor Shuche Chan. Did the Chavina and a Kalaka Shuchi West the situation delia tonation some sort of shuche and this can you get some.
As I said a few minutes ago, for any activism, a motivation is of the greatest importance. As mentioned in this question, in activism we could be motivated by all kinds of things, such as anger and guilt and all sorts of things. But in activism, we are trying to accomplish a goal, a specific goal, and that is what we need to do. We will not be able, however, to accomplish our goal as activists if we approach our activism or approach the accomplishment of our goal with the arrogance or pride of thinking that we are somehow better than others, that we are good or better. As far as the demeanor with which we conduct our activism, it depends upon the specific issue in which we are involved or with which we are concerned. Sometimes a quiet, even private approach may be effective because of its softness. At other times, it may be better to be more loud, even raucous, and very public. But sometimes we are loud and raucous when a softer approach would be more effective. For example, returning to gender issues, sometimes Westerners will point to Asian or other Eastern cultures and say, we have gender equality, you don't. Our society is therefore more advanced, more developed, more evolved than yours. Our way of doing things is better than yours. You should drop your way of doing things and do it our way. Well, for obvious reasons, that kind of approach sometimes can simply create more conflict, more resistance. In such situations, being soft, being spacious in our activism will be more effective. In addition, we need to remember that the purpose of being an activist is not to be concerned with our own feelings, our own emotional involvement. The purpose in being an activist is to get something done, to bring a resolution of whatever issue we are concerned with or involved in. And I say this because sometimes, because we can become so emotionally involved in our particular cause or issue, we start to pay too much attention to our own emotional state and too little attention The second question, it seems that there are many people who understand environmental issues, such as climate change, and why they are important, but don't do very much to change their behavior. Why is this, and how can we best encourage such people to change?
That is smoking consumption summer weather. Tamatiarva. Smoke. Smoke tilia kumdi. Didn't double chadi or smoke Tamatia deliaji Tama Jitinsa Tama Ginaro Caselia Tama Temijobi public area Tama Temijob rules Tanasin Tana Tama Gumjung. Not only any around the smoke is killers, but that tea and is bad jar than damage. 지셔야돼 이나티 맞을 팽겨와마나 담 단동이네 가수라지 디 스모크 지자디 이슈디 모든 로데아지 참참 디도 캡다는 찬도지 가마디 니가 잡아내세야디 캡다 소리지 괜찮으시 찬도 대나시 전에 information 당 지가수에 지 대시 잡음식 아주 팽민도 다 조된 아주 motivation 과디 자외 시제기 아주 motivation 체시하디 오늘 전에지 레벨 나로래야 지 구육이 거기 계시버좀 가지고대 삼 니주 고도에 좀 마세비 닝기기네 소소로 천안에 붙여야지 개점심 차대 예스를 삼정도 motivation이 교와 담바 이미나 아니 아주 군주는 교원도 그래 군주는 교와 침비미나 아니 아주 여기 아니 지 니마르지기 지 초와 계단이야 교원도 그래 되는 교와 침비미나 아니 신에 된된 가수지 쿠유리안 교와 당도 그래 섬정이 마다비 쿠유기 순접당 디도데 지 demonstration 샤당 지 니만 가셔지리야 very active 제야 디지뷰기 핑계와만은 따디 니머르지 수수 좋아하는 자가 예브래 따디는 인지미지 맞을이야 디브 가져다지 이모션 가져다지 디 굴롱 띵습지 과야디 계십시 차되면서
It's a lot like smoking, for example. We've got to the point where there are very few places you can actually smoke. You can't smoke in public areas. And the information about how bad it is, how bad smoking is for your health, is readily available. There are warnings on every package of tobacco or tobacco products. There are even advertisements about how bad smoking is. And yet, it's not enough to stop everybody from smoking. Information, explanations are not enough. There needs to be a strong, deep, fundamental motivation to change our behavior. Simply knowing that we should, that it would be better for us or better for others, isn't enough. The knowledge we gain from information is stored in our brains, but it doesn't necessarily communicate itself to our hearts. We are only willing to change when we feel a strong motivation to do so deep in our hearts. Once we feel that motivation, then we will change our behavior. And if enough people change their behavior, we will succeed in preserving this environment. But in changing our behavior, simply doing something dramatic one day is not enough. It has to be a day after day, a constant effort and constant, based on a deep conviction that comes from being fundamentally motivated to change. That there was somebody. Could Your Holiness share your own views on gay, lesbian, and transgender relationships?
Experience?
No, not experience, views.
Oh. View. Oh, yeah. Joke, but it's okay. View. 다디 가르쳐요. 당에 얘기 가상오마 가르쳐다지. 디고는 들랍니다. 단두스 나오네. Tadi penadriji shedam kashwe daji na penatelia ji nambe gi tadru thone nenji gyobs lavimina gyabdanji yugire nga gegi ngene sumzu shye sana shedanji yugire ina yang ta nga yang kama bi meji ku ye binza nge gegi sumzu tia rangi ngangi nambe tadru dan jaba yabru chadoro madabe kama bi sumzu dire yana nambe tadru shedan dire sa kagar chomaro ta ine kebas kemendo nambe tadru thone shebi nanda ngara ge sumzu thone shebi minanda so the conversation based on true love samare ji ngone ji sewa shirshabar ji to ne yimbeche ji desha da sebalo so de shisha ti zo mo yimbeche sewa shishabar shewi ne ji gure sewa shisha ro mena and tangi di ge the lesbian gi ji bo man ta ji dang a주 common samare de ji 가르르 포다모 딘디 자와이면 포묘 파르 자와이미냐 다디앙 덴데 지 되샤 조르 제미나 안데 야부스게 말아 안데 인두스탄데 균zel데네 마주 사무타한데 디디질 사무타 랑 응네냐 디 삼등이야라 남베기 최응네 지당 남베 최응네 시에비미나 아네지 가르르 kimba pomme ji sowa gedang tela shibji nangbe ngene ji ndi chiago ndi chiago marese rule no bisharang ji karredi shuchim shibji mize ta ji domba yebine ni ju khare shema do be ndidan di sa du shibji yo mare dri bisan ti kunze dem ha de ji shyamen something.
Well, there might be a difference between a traditionalist Buddhist answer to this and my own personal answer, which of course brings up the issue that since I'm the Karmapa, my answer would become sort of a Buddhist answer. The way I think of it, however, is this. The issue here is true love. In any relationship, whether it is between two people of the same gender, two people of different genders, if the relationship is founded on, based on true and genuine love, and not just physical desire, then it's authentic. But if a relationship is based only on desire, only on gratification and not on love, then whether it is a gay relationship, lesbian, or heterosexual relationship, it's still not going to be very good. So the issue here is love. And that is what makes a relationship authentic and valuable. In traditional Buddhism, of course, there are lots of rules governing the behavior of householders, which is to say non-monastics, lay people. And then, of course, if you're a monastic, then everything is off the board. Oh.
Actually, one thing you didn't say.
I didn't say.
You didn't say.
Okay.
But
I don't mean it's okay that I
when
didn't
we
say
come
it.
back, I will find you. It's okay. No problem.
Do you want to say it now?
No, it's okay.
He really does speak English. How do you suggest we address the environmental crisis? How can the liberation of self be used as a foundation to perpetuate the liberation of others? The koyuk dandrawa ki gone soso range de nyamlen gone tapa topa te shenda la tapa treak tapa ke gokap jimba là thì chun jin de doya, ming shi de doya ke tap kan roi gon.
Maybe, I don't know. Another question.
Okay. How do we balance a need to be compassionate and gentle in our discussions of gender equality with our need to be heard and the immediacy of the problem? How do we engage in productive dialogue with people who do not necessarily want to listen?
Listen. Tadi samsam ji karwe ji ngachu samsam different angle to sam dangwa de kechim shi ben sam tangdo. Bena kaduine sosu shepa bonro ji pharu bo nyamba bonro de ji mai bache. Sosu ine nyamba bonro ji pharu bo shepa bonro ji bi na kande ji sha de. Ta kandar sosu gi tata ngachu compassion sa de ji gore re. Karwe kaduine bine separation ru cheche. 지 가르르다지 가르르 간사 니여버를 비트리 상으로 만다면 치지 간다지 수수 디 네버디암 디 과사들 예비치지 근데 지금 상담 동과한테 개좀 쉽지 차되면 섬정도스 가야서는 아주 망부지 초 거뒤 이미네 초 집에 상담 당바 야나지 수수 거뒤에 시에 된게 지금이 생경기 의면에 상담 당바다 년게데 상담 동과 말아 배나 최신의 망고지기 년견 깔래 가지고 하고 온다. 다 년견 될 때지 때 수수니 아주 디강해야 다 삼상 아주 트레디셔널 최시에도서 주주 숨시들의 시에샤. 생계의 코란베 하르 레지게 시에디가래. 근데 코란 강해를 다지 강해 매서 말로 다지 뒤진 교부 싶지 않아. 다 마저들이 최년견 돼서 다 주주 숨쉬듯이 산다디 상으로 리버 좀 도만 다 고도 강에 같이 돼요. 근데 다티 소수 최년견디 맞아 봐도 디 강에 가리면디 하고 뭐 이제 조그르비 시한도 원 조그르비 조그다 가르서 뭐디 촌도 제거리야. 미지 최시에도 최시에도 산에 안 다보 미망고예요. 미망 보여지. 근데 그 최시에도서 미드즈르레 니르치 퇴원신 버렸어. 다마도 미질 하려 알았어. 딱 그 최대 사마시에서 내 콜이야. 투지치에서 그런 게 나래베 냠바 투지치에서 알았어. 어디 미디기 콜이야. 안게 교랑 게 계제니 냐가 체데 데데 미스 nga chorang jel geje shenge di de gode is la da den de che ba sona ro de tin che sha de de nga zu angle do de je ba ja go de ke je ba men so
Sometimes we need to think of different angles, different ways to communicate with or appeal to people. We assume communication by our talking and the other person listening. But that's not always the most effective way to get through to someone or communicate. Our compassion has to go beyond the perception of ourselves and the person with whom we're dealing, to whom we're speaking, to whom we're listening, as two different people. We need to be able to put ourselves in their place. We often think of things, including the issues that are dear to us, only from our own perspective as a talker. And that causes us to talk at rather than to people. For example, someone who is teaching a Dharma, a spiritual teacher, fatigue of their listeners. In traditional teachings, sometimes you are supposed to go on for 3 or 4 hours teaching. And when you're the teacher, of course, you're exhilarated. You're enthused by your topic. And so the time passes very, very quickly. But without you being aware of it, you've gone way beyond the attention span of your intended listeners. Actually, it reminds me of a joke. Someone was giving a lecture, and at the beginning of the lecture, there were many, many people listening and attending. And one after one, they started leaving until by the end of his lecture, there was only one person sitting there. So he went up to the person sitting there and said, "Thank you for attending my lecture." And the So sometimes we need to try different angles. The next one. I am a college student who now lives in New York City. Having spent many years of my youth in mountains, surrounded by dense forests and river valleys, I cultivated a very deep relationship with nature that I find difficult to be away from. Though New York can be seen as an extreme city space, how would you recommend a person not living in nature stay in touch with it?
다들 알 전화를 찍어주시는 라인에 이제 전화 정시 중뒤에 배 야채에다 간다를 다가다 이런 구요로 지난 전화 점을해 제가 삼삼 narrow streets 말하면 총길 부수도 있는 레디스 괜찮아를 지 어디도 레인주스안에 땅에 다들 미세 가수에 아주 쿠류디 간다 다당 나랑 외에 쿠유리아 숨겹지하기 지 심쇼를 영화대 조 딘데가 삼을때는 정말 드레인두상 아주 딘데기 아주 여기 쿠유 라이에벤 제바 사무주에버디 아주 쿠유 숨겹지하기 닝도당 뉴베질리아 유튜브입니다. 야외공면에 섬들을 정도스.
Well, I have the same experience. I was born and initially brought up in a pristine, entirely natural and very spacious environment. So when I'm in a city space where the streets are basically narrow canyons, I can feel them closing in on me a little bit. I think that we mitigate this sense of separation from the natural environment by becoming courageous in our efforts to preserve the environment as a whole. And I find that my involvement with environmental preservation has mitigated the sense of distance from the natural environment in which I was born.
다음에 요새는
라.
다들 봐서 저기 단주.
Yes. We're going to stop here.
Let us share our deep appreciation and gratitude with His Holiness for the wonderful wisdom shared with us here this afternoon.
Thank you.
Are you tired?
I'm not. Finished the lecture, no time.
You have energy.
Right?
Yeah.
It was good.